Miyamoto Musashi fought over 60 duels and never lost, never explained himself to anyone. He was a ronin, no clan, no master, outcast from the samurai system that feared what he represented. He became the greatest swordsman in Japanese history and wrote the philosophy that defined warriors for centuries. By the end of this, you'll understand why the people who think they're above you will never respect you, and why that's exactly what sets you free. We're using his real teachings from the Book of Five Rings as the framework. But first, meet someone trapped in the same rigged system you're fighting. Meet Gohan. He's smarter than his boss, works harder than his coworkers, has better ideas than the people making decisions above him, and none of it matters. Every meeting, he explains himself. Every project, he justifies his approach. Every win, he has to prove it wasn't luck. And the people judging him, they're not better. They're just better at politics. Gohan's stuck in a system where competence doesn't get rewarded. Obedience does. Where the loudest voice wins, not the sharpest mind. He wants one thing: respect. He wants his voice to carry weight. He wants people to take him seriously when he speaks. But deeper than that, he wants to prove them wrong. He wants to get so strong, so skilled, so undeniable that they have no choice but to respect him. He wants to force their validation, make them see what they've been ignoring. Every time he tries, nothing changes. They still overlook him. They still dismiss him. It's draining him. Every explanation, every justification, it's like bleeding energy into a black hole. One Friday night, after another meeting where his idea got stolen by someone with less skill and more social capital, Gohan's scrolling online, frustrated, angry. He stumbles on a manga called Vagabond. It's about a wandering samurai, a fighter, an outcast, Miyamoto Musashi. Gohan starts reading, can't stop. Musashi was a ronin, no clan, no master, no approval from the samurai establishment. The samurai society hated him, called him a barbarian, an outcast, too violent, too undisciplined, and he became the greatest swordsman in Japanese history anyway. So undeniable, they had to acknowledge him whether they liked it or not. Gohan finishes the manga in 2 days. He needs more. He finds the Book of Five Rings, Musashi's strategy manual written near the end of his life. Combat principles, tactics, how to win. Gohan reads it, but something's missing. The tactics are there, but not the mindset behind them. He keeps digging. He finds Dokudo, Musashi's 21 precepts for life, written just before his death. The way of walking alone. Accept everything just the way it is. Do not seek pleasure for its own sake. Do not depend on a partial feeling. Now it's starting to click. Gohan dives deeper. Zen Buddhism, Bushido, samurai culture, what it meant to be a ronin in that world. An outcast with no master, no clan, no place in society. Musashi wasn't just a fighter. He was a man who built his own path in a system that rejected him, and he won anyway. And something ignites in Gohan's mind. This is it. Musashi became so strong they couldn't ignore him. I'll do the same. I'll use this complete system to become so undeniable they'll be forced to respect me. No more explaining, no more justifying. Just pure strength, pure skill, pure results. But the first lesson Gohan learned from Musashi's teachings destroyed everything he thought he knew about earning respect. Part 2. Stop doing what is of no use. The first thing Gohan found in the Book of Five Rings hit him like a punch. Do nothing which is of no use. Simple, brutal, true. Gohan thought about every meeting where he explained himself, every conversation where he justified his decisions, every moment he spent trying to prove his worth to people who never listened. Wasted energy, all of it. Not because they didn't understand, because they didn't want to. Musashi never explained his duels. He just fought and won. The results spoke. The explanations didn't matter. Gohan made a decision. No more explaining. No more justifying. No more defending his ideas to people who weren't qualified to judge them. Not because he stopped caring about their respect. He wanted it more than ever, but because every second spent explaining was a second not spent building. He redirected that energy. Every hour he used to waste in pointless conversations, he now spent learning. New skills, new frameworks, new capabilities they didn't even know existed. His goal sharpened into a single clear target. I'll become so skilled, so competent, so undeniable that they'll be forced to respect me. They won't have a choice. At work, he stopped defending his proposals, just executed, stopped justifying his methods, just delivered results. At first, the silence felt strange, like he was invisible. But then something shifted. He had more energy, more focus, more time to actually get better instead of talking about getting better. Gohan was building in silence, and for the first time, he felt like he was moving forward. But silence wasn't enough. Musashi's next teaching is what turned Gohan from invisible into dangerous. Part 3. Perceive what cannot be seen. Musashi wrote, "Perceive that which cannot be seen with the eye." Gohan read that line 10 times before it clicked. It's not about what's in front of you, it's about what's hidden, the real game being played beneath the surface. And once Gohan saw it, he couldn't unsee it. The system wasn't broken. It was designed exactly as intended. They didn't overlook him by accident, they needed him beneath them. Because the moment he rose, their incompetence became visible. Every time they made him explain himself, it wasn't about understanding. It was about control, about keeping him in the position of justifying while they stayed in the position of judging. The game was rigged, and he'd been playing it perfectly for them. Gohan stopped playing. He trained in silence, learned skills they didn't even know existed, worked on projects outside their view, built capabilities they couldn't measure with their outdated metrics. He wasn't hiding. He was sharpening, getting ready for the moment they'd have to acknowledge him. 3 months in, they noticed. Not because he told them, because the results were undeniable. And that's when the pushback started. Gossip. Who does he think he is? Sabotage. Meetings scheduled without him. Ideas blocked for lack of collaboration. Exclusion from decisions he should have been part of. They weren't attacking his work. They were attacking him for being better. Gohan had a choice. Stop now. Go back to being safe and invisible. Or double down and burn that bridge forever. He chose the second one. I'm not stopping. Not until they're forced to see it. Not until I'm so undeniable they choke on their own dismissal. But getting strong revealed something Gohan wasn't ready for. Part 4. Think lightly of yourself. 6 months later, Gohan did it. He landed the client everyone said was impossible. Built the system they said couldn't be done. Delivered results that put the entire department on the map. External recognition came fast. Industry awards, articles. People outside the company knew his name. This was it. The moment he'd been working toward. They'd have to respect him now. The proof was undeniable. The results spoke louder than any explanation ever could. Gohan walked into the office expecting acknowledgement. Maybe not praise. He didn't need that. Just respect. Just recognition that he was right all along. They dismissed it. It was a team effort. He got lucky with timing. Anyone could have done that with those resources. They downplayed it, minimized it. Some ignored it completely. Gohan felt something break inside him. I did everything right. I became undeniable. I forced the results. And they still don't see me. He sat with that for days, replaying every moment, every decision, trying to figure out what he missed. Then he went back to Musashi, back to Dokudo. Think lightly of yourself and deeply of the world. And it hit him differently this time. His ego, his need to be seen, to be validated, to force their respect. That was the trap. They were never going to respect him. Not because he wasn't good enough, because they couldn't. Respecting him would mean admitting their own weakness, their own irrelevance, their own fragility. Weak people don't respect strength. They resent it because it reflects back everything they're not. Gohan had been fighting for approval from people who weren't strong enough to give it. He'd been bleeding himself dry for validation that was never coming. And that's when Musashi's final lesson hit him. Part 5. Walk your own path. Musashi spent his entire life as an outcast. No clan, no master, no approval from the samurai establishment that controlled Japan. He fought over 60 duels, never lost. And they still rejected him, called him a barbarian, uncivilized, dangerous. So he walked away. He didn't keep fighting for their respect. He didn't keep trying to prove himself to a system designed to exclude him. He disappeared into the mountains, trained alone, perfected his craft, wrote his philosophy in a cave, and became a legend anyway. Not because they finally respected him, because he stopped needing them to. Gohan read that part of Musashi's life over and over, and he understood. He'd won. The results proved it. He was undeniable. They just wouldn't admit it because admitting it meant facing their own inadequacy. But here's what changed. Gohan didn't care anymore. Not because he gave up, because he finally saw the truth. Their respect was worthless. It always had been. They were weak people playing a rigged game, and he'd been bleeding himself trying to win a prize that meant nothing. Gohan made his decision. He left, quit the job, started his own business, stopped attending their meetings, their social games, their validation rituals. He walked away from the system that needed him small to feel big. The people who dismissed him, still there, still stuck, still insecure, still playing politics while the world moved past them. And Gohan, he's building, on his terms, with people who actually matter, fighting battles he actually wants to win. Musashi never said, "Become so strong you don't need to explain yourself." But he lived it. He became so focused on his path, so committed to his craft, that the opinions of weak men became background noise. That's the lesson. Strength isn't about forcing their respect. It's not about proving them wrong. It's not about making them see. It's about becoming so locked into your own path that their validation stops being the target. You don't need their approval to build something real. You just need to stop playing their game and start walking alone.